Hello and welcome to this special conversation with the Trade and Industry Minister. He is Katie Hammond. As you may well know, in the last few days, in fact, just over a week, there have been significant conversation around one legislative instrument he's attempting to lay in Parliament for it to mature. And this is a very crucial one for him. It is the Restriction of Importation of Selected Strategic Products Regulations 2023. That is proposing to limit the importation of some 22 products into the country. There's been a fair bit of controversy around this, and tonight we're going to talk to him, ask him a few hard questions about it, so that we can understand a bit more why this is even necessary at this time. My guest tonight, live on the Joy News channel, but also live pretty shortly on Joy 99.7 FM. You can catch the repeat play on PM Express at 9 p.m. Later tonight, is Katie Hammond. You've heard him argue on this particular subject in Parliament. He is my guest right now. Thank you, Mr. Hammond, for your time here on Joy News and on Joy 99.7 FM. Why the need to introduce this regulation?
Yes, okay. Evans, I came to this office in about, was that April? Yeah, April. But immediately I came here, I discovered that at a point in time, a cabinet had been concerned by the extent of the import bills of this country. And indeed, I had set up a committee of about 4 or so ministers, chaired by the Minister of Trade, to see about how the country could go about reducing the import bills of the country. Obviously, not much had been done, not even by the committee before the previous minister left, and as I said, not much had been done. But I picked it up from there. We looked at the figures. What was outstanding was the fact that we realized that year in, year out, Ghana was expending considerable sums of our foreign exchange on the importation of some of these items that we labeled at selected strategic products. Of course, topping the bill will be cars, and particularly cars. But rice was not conspicuous by its absence at all. I think it ranked at second or about third on top there. We looked at the figures. It was quite a huge. The total import bill for the country, I think in 2021, was about $13.6 billion. Out of that, it's a list which is not. This is not the entire gamut of the items on the import list that we have been concerned about. There have been about 50 items on the list. And this alone constituted about 34 or so percent of the entire imports of the country. Fast forward to last year, was another close to about $12 billion imports into the country, and some of these basic items. Straight from the pandemic.
This is Phil.
Not again.
Phil should have used Instacart. Now, while everyone else is opening holiday presents, he's opening his computer to check tracking numbers on late arriving packages. It's his holiday tradition. But Phil ends this tradition by downloading Instacart, the holiday rescue app. Now he can get gifts from Best Buy, Sephora, Dick's Sporting Goods, and more, delivered in as fast as 1 hour, instead of a week late. Get free delivery on your first 3 orders. Offer valid for a limited time. $10 minimum per order. Additional terms apply.
JCPenney cyber deals are just a click away. Save through Tuesday at jcp.com. Finish your holiday list early and score thousands of online deals before they're gone. Cozy up to 60% off heated blankets and throws. Keep the fam extra warm in outerwear starting at just $14.99. And spoil someone special with our Yes Please Diamonds and Gemstones only $19.99. All the deals, all online. JCPenney, make your holidays count. Offers valid on select styles through 11/28 online only. Exclusions apply. Cyber deals excluded from coupons. See jcp.com for details.
Hello, saver. Whether you're saving for that trip to the tropics or saving for an emergency, now is the time to take advantage of Wells Fargo's savings options. Wells Fargo offers savings accounts that can help you save towards your goals. So, what are you saving for? Visit a Wells Fargo branch or wellsfargo.com/save to open a savings account today.
Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
All the crisis, everybody seems to be aware in the country. We thought that something strategic had to be done, something fundamental had to take place. We can't just continue doing the old things and expect to get any different results from what have been going on. So the thinking was that, look, the MPP government in taking over the reign of power, had said that we'd intend to transform the economy. We're going to transform the economy on the back of industrialization. We're going to develop our economy. We're going to move away from the Gorgesburg, the economy that hitherto we've all been used to transform it. How do we transform it? You don't transform the economy on the back of massive import of almost everything into the country. There has to be import substitution.
But the key question is this the approach to deliver that? Where you restrict strategic products?
That's one of the approaches, yes. So it's a two-pronged approach. One is to ensure retention, conservation of the foreign reserve itself. Look at the figures that I've given you, billions, 12 billion, 13 billion, and it's been consistent over the years to conserve some of the money. And then in the process, making sure that you undertake local production on a massive scale. I mean, if you are able to balance this right, of course, at the back of it all is making sure that you don't create any shortfalls in the country. So you make sure that there is the monitoring of what we are importing, but at the same time keeping an eye on what is it that you consume at home and what you produce. In fact, a question was put to me the other day, maybe it was a rhetorical question. It was this, that if these countries from whom we import all these items kept on importing, they would be producing for anybody to import, or countries like Ghana to import. So we thought it was a real option, really to achieve two options, two goals with the option that we have chosen.
What goals?
One, conservation, to reserve quite a bit of our money. You can't put year in, year out that kind of amount into imports. That's what. So foreign exchange reserves is conserved. And then you come back to what I've just told you, industrialization, the development of economy, creating the local conditions for us to be able to produce and be self-sufficient.
But we haven't done that second bit. That second bit, you put in the cart before the horse here, are you not? Because we don't have the local capacity in the 22 items that you've listed.
Yeah.
But you're going to place restrictions. How do we meet that shortfall?
So that is why I would want us to emphasize, clearly underline the point. Let's be careful about the language that we're using here. It's a restriction, it's not a ban. It's not a ban. A few people have been bandying the word about you're banning, we are banning. We are not banning. Indeed, we cannot even do that. We are constrained by the World Trade Organization rules. Not to venture into any of those things. You cannot place restrictions under those regulations, which will make it difficult for other countries to.
But what you're seeking to do is what under the World Trade Organization's rules they call quantitative restrictions.
Yes.
And explicitly, generally forbidding under Article 11 of the General Agreement of Tariffs and Trade.
Okay.
Which is exactly what you're doing.
So you look at Article 12. Article 12 mandates exactly what we're doing. I mean, that's why my whole argument has been pivoted. The fulcrum of it has been about the, the foreign exchange issue, the balance of payment issues.
Article 12, an exception
Article 12
under the quantitative restriction.
Exception under 12. So 12 allows, if the issue is geared towards boosting the country's foreign exchange reserves. But
the rules say if you intend to do that, you must notify the WTO. Have you done so?
Why? We're taking them in stages. We are consistently making the point. We are not banning anything. We are mandated by the rules. We are allowed by the rules to conserve our reserves. I mean, the WTO would ultimately be informed about the processes that we have put in place. We are not banning anything. We are saying that we are restricting by a certain procedure. And procedure is what, if you look at the documentation, you would notice by some sort of import regulations. You see, there's also another part of it that I think hasn't been properly considered. And this is the fact of a natural and fees into the foreign exchange, the country's coffers issues that I have raised. There are people who import into the country and they declare whatever value there is, all right. They pay whatever there is initially to pay. I am told that following from that, there has been considerable difficulties in tracking all the VATs and the income that should be paid to government and all of that. By now attempting to institute what we are trying to do, obviously this will become quite transparent because you would declare how much is it that you want to import. We know the figures. You will come back subsequently to want to import again. We would then want to know from you what happened the last time. If you know the figures, obviously GRA will then have access to the books, and then of course there will be determination of whether this has been paid, this hasn't been paid or not. There is
paying the right duties is what you're stressing.
To make sure that the country is not being fleeced in a circumstance that people have been prone to do it. So that again also goes to conserve our reserves and of course create openness in the system.
Let's talk about the second objective for doing this, which is to, in essence, empower local production.
Yes,
right?
Yes.
Do you admit that if that is your objective, that this particular piece of legislation places the cart before the horse?
Well, I don't know. You keep saying that. Well, let me understand. Why do you say that?
Because if you restrict, and you don't have enough local production, then you're going to create a big challenge.
Maybe you're not focusing on this. I've said it so many times. We are not banning.
No, restricting.
We're restricting, but we're restricting to the extent that we don't create famine in the country.
How do you propose to do that?
Well, exactly. So you see the committee that has been put together, Agriculture Ministry, Ministry. How many of them? You got a copy of this?
You have the Ministry. You have the Ministry of Agriculture. You have the Finance Ministry. You have the GRA. You have
food and whatever what called FDA.
Yes,
they are all there. Go to the page. They are all
including the associations like AGI.
All of them. And so there is this committee that meets and monitors food production in the country. So it's not a simple question of sitting down one afternoon and determine that you can get a certificate or permit or not. No. The ministry is responsible, particularly Agric. There has been quite a lot of liaison between our ministry and Agric Ministry before we came out with this. We thought through. If in the end, the committee through the Agric Ministry tells us that there's a deficit, the deficit between production and consumption in the country is this much, so this much has to be imported, it will be allowed through. It's as simple as that.
So what you're saying is you would allow imports so far as it doesn't create shortage locally?
Absolutely. And of course, so far as also doesn't flood the system. So to the extent that there will be starvation in the country, we would ensure that the right quantity is allowed into the country. What we would not do, and repeatedly I'm making this point, is to simply get up and arbitrarily suggest that, well, we restricted the import of this, we have restricted. You might well say that the word restriction is a misnomer. And you might be right in saying that, because it doesn't seem to me that right from the word go, we're going to restrict to the extent that you may be tempted to equate restriction to banning, but that won't be entirely accurate. We will be restricting, not in the context of banning, but restricting in the context of keeping an eye on it and making sure that at the same time the production at home is beginning to match our consumption. At a point when there is equilibrium somewhere, then the system will be looking at whether there's a need to continue with the importation of.
But considering, if you look at rice, the big ones, you mentioned them, the big ones. Sure. Considering that as we speak, 2020, I mean the last data that's available.
So $220-something million.
Exactly, coming in. But in terms of the metric tons that we were consuming, some 1.4 million metric tons of that as of 2020. Yes. If you look at what we're producing locally, it's 622,000.
Yes.
There's a huge gap there.
Yeah.
That needs to be bridged.
Yes.
I put it to you that the restrictions won't solve this particular problem. Even if you restrict and say we still produce 2022, until you have government policies that empowers local producers to grow the production over time, you are going to have a challenge.
I understand that. No, there won't be a challenge. I understand that. Again, if your argument is still revolving on the fact that you suspect that we are banning, then we'll get into this conundrum.
But you're restricting.
But if you see, that's what I'm saying here.
So in other words, in a more realistic question would be, on day one of this, you would have to restrict the importation of rice, say, for example.
Day one of this,
and allow 622,000 metric tons to be produced locally.
No.
And so you can't import anything more than that difference. That's what you're proposing.
That is the difference.
That's what you're proposing.
But I was going to put it the other way around. Maybe we would have arrived at the same destination. But I was going to say that maybe, as you say, day one, which is from today or from the maturity of the LI, we won't be restricting anything at all. If it's to
the law says within 3 months, people can apply to you.
No, we apply. Of course, yes. The physical application would be undertaken. But whether by so doing we stop bringing in anything altogether is another matter. Yes, they would apply for the purpose of getting a 20 million metric tons, 40 million metric tons. I would have looked at the figures. The committee would have looked at the figures. They would have presented me with the data. And looking at it, I would have thought that, well, how much is needed? 100 and whatever tons, yes, it can be imported. Nothing would have been lost.
Yeah, but that is rice where the data is available.
We're keeping a good eye on the data. Let me tell you about this. We have been particularly concerned about rice because it's all basically the staple of the country. So we got companies like the guys that you met here just before you came in, Olam. They had come to explain to me the installed capacity. Consistently over the last so many months, we've been talking to Zoom Lion, you know them, just one group of companies. In fact, they had promised us that if we had been able to put through the mechanism into operation, the mechanism, by this December they will be producing so much to augment whatever it's already produced in the country. So imports could be to be restricted. But of course, we had to do a roadshow for purpose of consultation to get all those stakeholders involved for us to measure the barometer of the country before we undertake this process.
So I was talking about the other items on the list.
Yes.
You have stuff like fish.
Well, start from the top.
Well, I mean, we've talked about rice. We've talked about rice already.
A few more there.
You have poultry, for example.
Yes.
And if you speak to the Poultry Farmers Association, they say we don't even produce up to 1% of what the demand locally.
That's not my information. They don't tell me that they don't produce 1%.
I mean,
it is true. The local production
let me quote the exact figures. Yeah. So 400,000 metric tons is the demand locally.
That's right.
We're currently producing locally 57,000. To be very specific, 57,870.
Yes.
Metric tons of poultry.
Yes.
That's a huge gap. You're talking about a significant gap. Yeah. In fact, what we import still leaves a gap. We're not importing all that we need for the local market already.
Well, we're not importing oil. We're assuming that we produce something.
So my point is, how does your policy address this huge gap without creating a shortage that shoots price up and creates inflation?
Well, at the risk of repeating myself, let me take you back. And that's what consistently I'm saying, that we are not banning. So in the particular instance of poultry, we may simply have to regulate, observe, evaluate what's going on, and then decide on how we go forward. It's the case that if we were importing, say, 1,000 metric ton, million, whatever, of poultry, we probably would keep on producing to the extent that we are not bridging the gap. But if the system that we put in place, the help that we intend to give to poultry farmers, and all the mechanisms that we put in place, if it is able to catch up, we hope that going forward, we'll be able to bridge the gap, and that the import into the country will be reduced. Looking at it, if having put all the factors together, there's still the risk that putting restricting in the terms of not allowing anybody to bring.
Making it to Wednesday is a win in itself, and Dunkin' thinks you deserve a reward. That's why every Wednesday, now through December, Dunkin' Rewards members get a free donut with drink purchase. So whether you like your midweek pick-me-ups oozing with chocolate or filled with jelly, it's on us, because you deserve it. Save time and order ahead on the app with Dunkin' Rewards. Not a member? Join today. America runs on Dunkin'. Limit 1 classic donut per member per Wednesday. Terms and exclusions may apply. Participation may vary. Offer ends 12/27/2023.
For Wendy's, this is ad ID YWDO1981000. Perfect gift 20% offer. Revised 30 seconds.
Wendy's Peppermint Frosty and Frosty Cream Cold Brew make the perfect gift for anyone in your life. Especially for you. Yeah, this year you're sitting on your own lap and getting yourself what you want. Finally. And now every day this season, unlock 20% off your total when you get any small, medium, or large Frosty in the Wendy's app. So order something from your own wish list this year.
Limited time only. Participating U.S. Wendy's with app offer and registration. Applies to menu items only. Taxes and fees excluded.
JCPenney cyber deals are just a click away. Save through Tuesday at jcp.com. Finish your holiday list early and score thousands of online deals before they're gone. Cozy up to 60% off heated blankets and throws. Keep the fam extra warm in outerwear starting at just $14.99. And spoil someone special with our Yes Please Diamonds and Gemstones only $19.99. All the deals, all online. JCPenney. Make your holidays count. Offers valid on select styles through 11/28 online only. Exclusions apply. Cyber deals excluded from coupons. See jcp.com for details.
Take as little as 3 minutes to see if you could save on motorcycle insurance with Progressive. Come on, you've spent more time than that debating your accessories.
Could use some new riding gloves. Guess I'll go with black leather again. It just seems so basic. Wait, what if I did white leather? People be like, hey, this guy's different. Or they might be like, hey, this guy looks like a butler. Yeah, okay. Black leather it is.
Get a quote in as little as 3 minutes at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Poultry into the country would affect the country. We won't. We're going to rationalize. You know, it's not. Insanity is not going to break loose because we're trying to restrict. We would monitor as much as we can and make sure that we balance the system. We want to encourage local farmers. We want to encourage local poultry. But at the same time, I've also told you, also keeping our eyes on our foreign reserves. But that can never be at the expense of the ability of people to feed themselves in the country.
The architecture of the bill, as I've read, creates room for corruption, for rent-seeking behavior, does it not? This committee that answers only to you. In fact, you can decide, even when they recommend to you, whether to grant a permit or not. That creates room for corruption. You disagree? I am tempted to use so many phrases when it comes to some of this, but I'll contain myself. It's just annoying, you know. It's just annoying when it's suggested that. I don't think you belong to the camp of some of the other colleagues who see nothing good in this and suspect that it's geared towards lining the pockets of people who obviously are not accountable. It's silly. Let them take the necessary few minutes and read through the documentation.
The committee consists of ABC. I think about my last count was about 13 or so. Now, 13, you have the deputy minister of my ministry here, who will be the chairperson, and then there will be somebody representative from our Greek ministry.
Let me go to them for the sake of those who are watching. By the way, you're also live now on Joy 99.7 FM. This would have been top story time, but we are speaking to the Trade and Industry Minister, Katie Hammond, on the back of the controversy that has erupted on his proposals to bring in a legislative instrument that will restrict selected strategic products in terms of its imports. And we're having a conversation with him also on Joy, on the Joy News channel. Later tonight, you can catch the full interview on PM Express from 9 p.m. But to the point, though, you have the Ministry of Trade and Industry represented, and the individual there must not be anybody below the rank of a deputy minister. So I guess your deputy minister will represent you, and he will chair.
Yes.
You have the Ministry of Food and Agriculture also there, somebody not below the rank of a director. You have the Ministry of Finance. You have the Ministry of Employment, Labour Relations, Ministry of Interior. You have the Bank of Ghana, Custom Division of the GRA represented, the Food and Drugs Authority, the Ghana International Trade Commission also represented, and then the AGI and the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Your point about this?
So it's a very powerful committee. Now, where it leaves room for corruption, I'm not so clear. Now, after this committee has decided on whether there is a need to import some more products or to retain whatever it is as it is, anyone who is unhappy with the outcome of the committee's deliberation has the right to appeal to the minister. I'm not so sure, before appeals to the minister, at this stage, the minister, then the committee recommends to the minister. They recommend it. It isn't the minister who at his whim and caprice decide on what to do. There is a recommendation by the committee.
But you decide whether to take the recommendation or not.
We'll go to the next bit. The minister then decides. You are right. I would have thought that if this powerful committee is decided that a permit or a license should be granted, a minister will see no reason to differ
but
from those.
But power is given to
I have no doubt at all. Let's go to the check on the minister. Now, when the minister decides not to grant, that is the fear of my colleagues articulated the other day on the floor of Parliament. The minister, Katie Hammond, will decide because there are NDCs involved. They were very clear. NDC involved, looking at their faces and whatever. That is how much they fell below standards to describe this matter. Will decide that they are not going to grant it. The minister wasn't going to grant it. All right. What they haven't read is that when the minister refuses to grant your license, cancel your license, all the negatives that they outlined, you have the right then to appeal back to the minister to review his exercise.
Judge and jury.
It's all over the place.
Section 18 says appeal to you. The same person who have rejected it maybe a few months back.
Let's get there. You show me where the Section 18 is. So the minister is asked to review his decision. Is there in the court, Supreme Court, when they make a decision, the Supreme Court has jurisdiction within which they are asked to review their own decision.
But they add a few more judges to it.
But in
your case, it comes to you, the same person who rejected that permit.
Let me deal with it. So when I refuse following a review, you then have a recourse to the law court. Is there, black and white. So the minister, be it Katie Hammond, be it whoever, has not absolute control, unbridled control on the outcome of this. Go to that particular section.
But within the act, though, yes, you are the final authority here.
No,
you are the appellate body.
Where is the appellate?
You are the only person.
Go to the appellate. Tell me where.
Let's go to Section 18. Let me go to Section 18, which I quoted earlier.
What does this say?
Section 18 says,
yes,
1, a person who is aggrieved,
yes,
by the refusal of the minister, not only to grant the permit, but also after the renewal has been turned down, may within 14 days after the receipt of the notification of the decision of the minister, apply to the minister in writing for a review of the decision of the minister. The minister shall, within 14 days after receipt of an application for a review of the decision of the minister, A, take a decision on the application, and B, communicate the decision in writing to the aggrieved person. He ends there.
It doesn't end there.
Well, tell me if there's been an amendment to this.
It doesn't end there. Is that what you have?
That's what I have.
Well, you see, that's why you should be careful.
When was this review?
When you get in this, 3. Have you seen that 3?
Talk to me about 3, because I don't have it in the version I have.
Well, you probably can read better. Look at the 3. You know, so
3
give me your document then. I'll give you this one.
This is my document.
You got your dose. You see, journalists, you should be very careful.
Well,
you know, where do you hijack this from?
Well, this is from Parliament.
I don't know whether
this is from Parliament. This is the same parliamentary document.
Well, I don't know about that.
3 says, a person dissatisfied with the decision of the minister under sub-regulation 2 may seek redress in court. My question to you really is, this is before Parliament, and they got it from Parliament.
But be careful, there's nothing before Parliament.
No, of course. I mean, of course, I know, because, you know, but then the pre-lane conversations have happened. So your colleagues have it, and that's where I got this one. When was this clause added?
I'm not sure. It was always there. It was always there. I'm not sure why. I tell you what. I don't know where you got this from.
But it's a fair question. When was this?
No. It's always been there. It was always. Look at the other one. Two. I just told you about the one that they thought they were interested and later on shifted their interest. The cement one.
We'll come to the cement one.
It's clearly there. So I don't know
but my substantive question remains.
It's always been there.
My substantive question remains. You're actually saying that, again, within the confines of the Act, you are the final authority. Of course, the courts then have to now decide whether you're right or not.
Administratively, somebody would have to be the authority to make a decision. In this case, it's double-layered. The committee and then to the minister. You're not happy with the minister's decision, go to court.
But why do you want to create that avenue for the minister to have that level of discretion, which obviously from our history leaves room for you to be manipulated?
Let's support that. It was done.
Remember that. Beyond you, there'll be ministers beyond you who have to enforce it.
Why are you looking at Katie Hammond? Okay, let's talk about the minister. But why
this is institutional.
No, absolutely. But why do you think that this is an embodiment of corruption?
You may be a saint.
No.
You may be a saint, but somebody may occupy your seat tomorrow.
Don't claim to be a saint.
No, somebody may occupy your seat tomorrow.
And that person cannot lay claim to infallibility. But nobody is going to access this and be able to thereby corrupt themselves. I mean, what do you make of the reference to the court? I mean, I don't understand.
But in this country, it goes without saying
be careful about
the ultimate decision makers. Mr. Ketam, you know you're a lawyer, so you know. Even if Parliament decides, the ultimate deciders are always a court. So actually, this clause is just stating the obvious. That in all circumstances, if you're dissatisfied with any decision of any entity, you can go to court. You have recourse to court. But the fact that you stated it here,
if you're conscious of the fact that the addition adds nothing to it, then why were you hammering on the fact that, well, it isn't on your document and that creates avenue for corruption?
Now that I've seen the updated document, I'm asking a fundamental question.
It was always there, so, but notwithstanding this, that what?
My question to you is, including this fact here, is stating the obvious. Even if you didn't include it,
so we can ignore that. Someone could have gone to court. Judicial review, I'm conscious about that. So what is the point? That doesn't add anything.
My point is to have this checks and balances built into this. So why don't you have an appellate body other than yourself?
To do what?
To adjudicate over your decision.
What does it say? So what the judicial...
it makes it more transparent?
You're conflating the issue. I don't think you're getting it right. What does the appellate body do? What does it do? The appellate body, what does it do?
It will decide whether or not they can review your own decision.
And then they're going to court. What does it do?
Well, of course. I'm saying that whether you include this or not, even at that appellate body case, when you're not part of it, that person still has a cause to court.
So I don't get it.
It makes the process more transparent. When at the level of the committee,
which committee?
What I've been suggesting, let Parliament be the appellate body.
I told you about that. Don't pretend that you knew that when I told you about that.
The MP said that last week.
No, the MPs, I didn't quite understand what it was. It didn't make sense to me. My leader, H.A. Bonsu, said to me, was it possible to rope in Parliament at this stage? How do you do that? This is the administrative structure. Get Parliament to do what? This is an airline. I don't quite understand how this should be done. Fortunately, back to the Attorney General, and he says he doesn't understand that.
The Attorney General has given his opinion on this already.
Attorney General, that's why we've got to be very careful. People shouldn't assume that you're a minister, you sit in your office, sit around your desk, and you have the right to do whatever you want to do. This has been to Attorney General's office more than many times.
What's his view on this?
Attorney General is signed his imprimatur on it before.
So he's okayed it before
he's okay on it. And then when we went to Parliament the other day, and the suggestion was that we should still make some additions, we still went back to the Attorney General, and The particular one that you're talking about, the constitutional, whatever I told you about, Attorney General didn't understand. He has no comprehension. It didn't quite make sense.
As in coming back to Parliament.
For what? But Evans, let's get this matter very clear. You seem to be so agitated about the matter of an appeal. An appeal process is the equivalent of a review, except that they are different processes. But when a decision is made by a decision maker, an administrative decision maker, whether it was put there or... Indeed, let me share this with you. Maybe you are right. My view was that it did not make any sense adding that particular to 8. Of course, that particular...
The 3.
Yeah, the 3. It didn't make any
sense. So you agree with me then?
On that point, I do. But I was told that for the comfort of those who will be reading and who are not all lawyers... Because
I'm not a lawyer. I saw through it.
I made a fun about it. But lawyers, you want money. So living like that, your clients, they will come to you. If the decision they don't like, they'll come to you. But it was thought that so that there is no doubt about anything, put it there. You're talking about an appeal. That is appeal to the legal process out of the jurisdiction of this room, out of the bosom of the Ministry of Trade and Industry. The judicial process takes over. If it is appeal, what kind of appeal? Appeal to the court or appeal by a set of a panel? I don't understand.
So, Ms. Amma, my only question to you is, I want to stop using the word appeal and use the word that your own regulation uses, which is review.
That's right.
I'm saying, within the confines of this ministry, because you are championing this, you're saying that it will be more transparent when you institute, when somebody wants to review your initial decision, to go to another body other than yourself.
What is the judicial review, my body?
Because the principle in court, when you want to review, is that's why they have the appeals court. Even at the Supreme Court level, they add 2 or 3 more judges to the panel. Just so to create a sense that the same individuals and the same people who will be adjudicated for the review.
You are losing balance on this matter.
I'm just asking. In this case, though, you say for the first time, I won't accept your permit. I reject it.
Okay.
Then that same person, if they want to review, must come back.
But you know what they do? I may have missed out something fundamental. That's why we have the principles of judicial review. I'm not going to lecture you on judicial review principles. No, I wouldn't. But that is why you go back to the person who took the decision, draw the attention to the irrationality of the decision that they have made, the illegality of the decision they have made, the unfairness in terms of the procedural impropriety of the decision that they have made, which they may not have been conscious of. So you draw the attention to these matters, they sit down for the purpose of review. If they are not happy with it, it used to be, and I tell you, in the civil courts, it used to be Order 42 of the Civil Procedure Act of the High Court, CI 47. Order 42, review by the judge who took the decision had the power to review their own decision. It's now been taken away from.
But he's a judge, you are a politician.
But that is the matter.
There's a fundamental difference. But so, you are a politician.
How can I accept that completely? That is why I've made my decision amenable to the court, a higher decision-making process, body, not politically, but the judiciary. It's the High Court. And when we say that you can seek review, administrative decision, straight to the High Court. How best could it be? You put in any appellate processes and whatever, there is still what you call a tribunal or whatever. It's still an inferior body. I've given you the authority, the power to go to the highest judicial body, the process of judicial decision making in the country, the High Court. What is the complaint? They will strike down my decision. If in the end it is thought that my decision is tainted with illegality, irrationality, procedural unfairness, they will strike my decision down. Evans, I don't know. I don't plead guilty to this particular argument.
I want to take you back to the floor of Parliament.
Yes.
Your leader in the House, James Abonsu, was on his feet in open Parliament and said, well, Mr. Hammond should make amendments based on the meetings you've had and return on Monday with some of the...
Which would have been today.
Which would have been today. And then I got also on my show speaking to Carlos Ahinkra, who gave me a bit more specifics, that you met with a minority and agreed that you're going to, this particular contentious clause, you're going to include this parliamentary appellate body. That you actually agreed to do so. True?
Well,
I just want to check.
No, listen, I've already explained. My view was that it didn't make much sense.
Okay.
I mean, number one, let's get it right. It wasn't the view of the committee I've told you, Article 11, Clause 7 of the Constitution does not give anybody the right to preview my document. I mean, when I say mine,
just lay and you count the days.
It's as simple as that. You see, look at Article 106 of the Constitution. Procedure for enacting law, absolutely different. The framers of the Constitution, in their wisdom, did two things. One, legislative instrument. This is how it's going to be done. Proper legislation, bills, which would then lead into substantive act. You have to go through this processes, lay before the committee, the amendments on this. But on a particular matter of LIs, orders, and those regulations, very straightforward. Order Clause 7 of Article 11 says you, the promoter of it, invariably the minister, lay it in Parliament. When it's presented, gazette it. When it's gazetted, 21 days, maturity into law. If Parliament doesn't want it, the subsidiary committee of Parliament doesn't want it, after 21, well, not after 21, before the 21 days, they come back and then tell Parliament that we don't like it, and then by a majority of 2/3 of all members of Parliament annul it.
So what happened to...
But that's the whole point. That was the base of the argument, if you were listening the other day, that I was raising. And that this whole concept of a pre-laying and whatever, how did it come about? I don't understand. In deference to my friends, to the speaker, Aban Babin wasn't forcing that I go and see anybody, because he knew the clear in his mind. He just referred them to it and knowing what it is. What are you guys saying? I previously wasn't Aban, was one of the deputy speakers. I agreed that I was going to sit down with my colleagues. But in that meeting, I tell you today, they added bits and pieces.
When you say they, who are you referring to?
The committee, the subsidiary committee of legislative, the subsidiary committee,
which is traditionally chaired by the minority.
And this time chaired by, this parliament chaired by my good friend, Dr. Dominic Aine. Yeah, he chaired it. And all of them. I mean, all the members were there. The proposition has absolutely nothing to do with this constitutional thing. I really understand.
What did they propose?
I will tell you, he is a senior lawyer. He understands some of this. How could he possibly have thought about a minister coming back to Parliament on matters like this to engage in the processes of Parliament? What does it mean? So their business, their concern was some of the items that were put on there. Another issue was the justification for this whole bill. This whole, I'm accusing people for using the wrong terminology. Now I'm also
you nearly use the word ban.
Bill. No, the bill. It's not a bill. It's an ally.
It's an ally. Okay.
It's bill. It's, as I said,
of course.
for the laws. So for the legislative, those laws that eventually become act of Parliament. Yeah, so they made... they were absolutely insignificant. The conclusion was that, subject to this suggestions they have made, they were quite happy. You
agreed to include the suggestions in this document?
Yes, they have all been included. They were so infinitesimal, absolutely nothing. They were quite happy.
So let's bullet them. So what was going to happen now?
Following from there.
Okay.
Following from there. Can we lay suggestions?
Wendy's Peppermint Frosty and Frosty Cream Cold Brew make the perfect gift for anyone in your life. Especially for you. Yeah, this year you're sitting on your own lap and getting yourself what you want. Finally. And now every day this season, unlock 20% off your total when you get any small, medium, or large Frosty in the Wendy's app. So order something from your own wish list this year.
Limited time only. Participating U.S. Wendy's with app offer and registration. Applies to menu items only. Taxes and fees excluded.
JCPenney cyber deals are just a click away. Save through Tuesday at jcp.com. Finish your holiday list early and score thousands of online deals before they're gone. Cozy up to 60% off heated blankets and throws. Keep the fam extra warm in outerwear starting at just $14.99. And spoil someone special with our Yes Please Diamonds and Gemstones only $19.99. All the deals, all online. JCPenney. Make your holidays count. Offers valid on select styles through 11/28 online only. Exclusions apply. Cyber deals excluded from coupons. See jcp.com for details.
From some of the front benches, minority front bench. Our ranking, the chairman will obviously be there. Chairman hasn't reported to us. I don't understand why hasn't reported to you. Then I got to know that he's reported to them.
You mean Dominic Aine?
Yes,
hasn't reported.
That was the allegation, that he hadn't reported to the leadership.
The outcome of the meeting which you just talked about.
Yeah, that's right. It turned out not to be true. He had reported to them. Then what do we do? Okay, let's.
But was that outcome a consensus position that was going to be
communicated? But as far as I'm concerned, within the committee, it was absolutely consensual.
So you're saying that the NDC chair side and the MPP chair side all agreed at that committee level?
They completely agree.
Too late.
Yeah, sure.
With the change being
I can read
reviews will return to Parliament.
I can read to you. I mean,
please, I'd love to. I'd love to.
Let's some confidence.
This is a sure fact, by the way, as you have seen, and I would love for you to read what the actual text is, based on the agreement that you reached.
Can I have my phone?
Please, sir. Please do. And by the way, you're still live here on the Joy News channel. You are live on Joy 99.7 FM. This is a very important matter, and I really want to get the minister to get to the heart of it.
I appreciate
and also give us the facts as he has it, so that we can interrogate that. And so he's referencing the consensus agreement that was reached.
I quite understand
with both the majority and
what I'm going to do, but I think it's important so that this duplicity on the part of some people should abate. It's completely unnecessary. For the processes that we go through there, I think people should be transparent enough, should be men enough to accept the reality of what happens over there. I mean, it isn't in the domain, it isn't in the province of any particular individual to insist that I would not allow a particular process that is legitimately mandated by the Constitution to go on to undergo proper processes in the court. In the house. It's not your gift. It's not your prerogative. It is. Look, in a boxing ring, we have the rules. Courts have the rules. Parliament have the rules. The whole country have their superior rules in the form of the Constitution. We should be following the Constitution, and not because it doesn't suit our political gastronomy, we decide that we are going to be stumbling block. We're not going to agree to this. I'll get there. I mean,
I will allow you time to look for that.
It's coming. It's not.
Yes, I'll allow it. I'm going to take a quick break. Yes. When I return, we'll refer to that consensus position Katie Hammond says was reached with the minority at the committee level, which was supposed to be presented to the House for consideration. That then will pave way for the laying, and then we'll interrogate what that really was. Stay with us.
Can he tee up someone in red? And it goes to one!
That's who goal for. What 5 Champions League? You want to know? I be the real goal. I'm the real goal. Who is the goat? Ghana Jollof or Nigerian Jollof?
Ghana Jollof has no co-equal. The smell alone. Oh my God.
No, that shit. You two they lie. Now the same stew where they use cook the rice and then they go put them for top.
Hey! You are lying. Ghana Jollof.
I knew it here. Forget everybody. Yeah. My guy. Put some respect on the goat. On the goat. The only goat I know lives in Tama. Every year we give to you back. We are talking about PET. I was in your face. Except be the goat, huh? My guy, he be the goat.
Though our choice of goats may differ in football, music, and jollof, Alomo Bitters always brings us together. Alomo, experience greatness in every moment.
Drink responsibly. Not for sale to persons under 18, nor recommended to pregnant women. This advert is FDA approved.
Daddy, this tank is big.
Yes, that's true.
It can store a lot of water.
That's so true.
Wow, it has a working tortoise on it.
That's so true.
I can see FINTEX Syntax.
That is so true, my daughter.
When it falls down, it will spoil.
That's not true.
But why?
Hey! Syntax was the first to introduce double-layer tanks in Ghana. Syntax again was the first to introduce white inner layers in Ghana. Syntax gives you the biggest warranty, 7 years. No matter your water needs, Syntax is the answer. Syntax tank. Are you strong? Are you tough?
Every day, people have money emergencies.
Mom, I need my school fees.
Emergency.
Mama, chop
money emergency. Emergency. Catch it. I'm your rent. Emergency. Now, there's a new emergency number in town.
More money, challenge and enjoyment. At the top life we got.
Dial star 770 hash for all your money emergencies and chop life.
Dial star 770 hash for money emergencies and get easy and quick access to your money, loans, and other banking needs. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Before Ogun, the god of iron, I stand on oath.
It's the biggest play in the history of African theatre.
Is it not ignorance that makes the rats attack the cats?
This December,
there are kings and there are kings.
Image Bureau, in partnership with April Communications and the National Theatre, presents
Odewale, King, son of Ogundele.
Olarotumi's theatrical masterpiece, The Gods Are Not to Blame, goes live Saturday 2nd and Sunday 3rd December at the National Theatre. On stage, David Donto, Mauli Semevo, Fred Amugi, Andrew Tando Adote, Na Ashoko, and a lot more. Tickets are selling now for only 150 cedis at Nalem stores, Airport Shell, Starbite, Pinkberry, and Frankie's Osu. Go digital at www.imagebureaugh.com or dial star 711 star 11 star 25 hash. Supported by Niplan's Car Rentals, Ghana Tourism Authority, IPMC, our media partners, and proudly brought to you by Ebony Condoms and Stanbic Bank.
Because all lizards lie prostrate. How can one tell which lizard suffers from bellyache?
Refreshing and made with real apples. Hunter's Refreshing Apple Cider. Drink responsibly. Not for sale to persons under 18 or recommended to pregnant women. This advert is FDA approved.
Daddy, this tank is big.
Yes, that's true.
It can store a lot of water.
That's so true.
Wow, it has a working tortoise on it.
That's so true.
I can see SINTEX. Syntax.
That is so true, my daughter.
When it falls down, it will spoil.
That's not true.
But why?
Hey!
Syntax was the first to introduce double-layer tanks in Ghana. Syntax again was the first to introduce white inner layers in Ghana. Syntax gives you the biggest warranty, 7 years. No matter your water needs, Syntax is the answer. Syntax tank. Are you strong? Are you tough?
1, 2, give me the dance. Let's go, say. Hello, with everybody for you. Body just shake bellow.
Your favorite TV game show, Step Up, is back with another amazing season. This time, we are stepping up with Syntax Tank. Step Up with Syntax Tank. We'll see contestants answer questions of your choice and win over 6,000 Ghana cedis cash prize weekly and other products from our sponsors. This season, viewers at home should watch out for the Syntax Tank question of the week. Be the first to answer correctly via WhatsApp or send SMS to 050-833-8888 and win incredible prizes. The person who answers most of the weekly questions correctly and fastest gets a 65-inch Samsung TV at the end of the season. Step Up with Syntax Tan, showing on Joy Prime every Sunday, 7:30 p.m. Sponsored by Bell Eyes, MTN Momo, Angel Cola. Powered by Syntax Tan. Joy Prime, your ultimate experience.
So cool, so clean. My newfound love and buddy, Aquadot Natural Mineral Water, made under strictly hygienic conditions with modern technology to ensure your quality. With Aquadot Natural Mineral Water, your safety is at heart. For bulk purchase, call 0257205656 or 0559765777. You can also visit us at Hacho Ecomop Accra or Dotland Noi Limited, Hacho Rabbit, Aquadot Natural Mineral Water. This advert is FDA approved.
Before Ogun, the god of iron, I stand on oath.
It is the biggest play in the history of African theatre.
Is it not ignorance that makes the rats attack the cats?
This December,
There are kings and there are kings.
Image Bureau, in partnership with April Communications and the National Theatre, presents
Odewale, king, son of Ogundele.
Olawutimi's theatrical masterpiece, The Gods Are Not to Blame, goes live Saturday 2nd and Sunday 3rd December at the National Theatre. On stage, David Donto, Mauli Semevo, Fred Amugi, Andrew Tando Adote, Na Ashoko, and a lot more. Tickets are selling now for only 150 CDs at Nalem stores, Airport Shell, Starbites, Pinkberry, and Frankie's Osu. Go digital at www.imageprogh.com or dial star 711 star 11 star 25 hash. Supported by Niplan's Car Rentals, Ghana Tourism Authority, IPMC, our media partners, and proudly brought to you by Ebony Condoms and Stanbic Bank.
Because all lizards lie prostrate. How can one tell which lizard suffers from bellyache?
Oh, banana. We should try it, especially my banana.
Your superstation Love 99.5 FM, in partnership with the brilliant minds behind your favorite court series, KDTR vs. Makola, comes to your latest comedy masterpiece, Banana and Melon movie. Meet Henry, a man on a do-or-die mission to win the heart of his lover, Afi. But Afi seems to have other plans.
By the way, are you an Ewe?
Yes, Afi Tipo.
Oh, Afi, you're lucky.
I'm lucky.
Yes, I'm looking for an Ewe. You're an Ewe.
Starring the incredibly talented Louise Lamise, the fantastic Atidadzi, and the lovely Isabella Etona, comedian Kweku 40, and many more. Don't miss the grand premiere in Kumasi on December 2nd at the CCB Auditorium, KNUST, and there are two show times, 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. Tickets are available for just 60 Ghana cedis single and 100 Ghana cedis couple. Tickets are available at front desk of Love FM, Poco Trading Supermarket, Adum, IC Cup, KNUST commercial area. Sponsors.
Your day is never dull when you tune into Joy Prime. Wake up to Prime Morning on weekdays as Roselyn, KMJ, and Asiedua kickstart your day with breakfast of issues.
Genta explains Sarkodia came promise after the Grammy absence.
Stay informed with our news updates, sports coverage, all interlaced with captivating novella series. Sandwiching the thrilling telenovelas is our comprehensive news at 7. Unwind with Sports Zone, Mondays at 9 p.m. BMPS Show, Friday at 9 p.m. and groove to the turn-up general selections at 10 p.m. on weekdays. The weekend is packed with loads of excitement from kids programs to captivating talk shows. Stay tuned for action-packed movies from Monday to Sunday and many other exciting shows only on Joy Prime. Joy Prime, your ultimate experience.
JCPenney cyber deals are just a click away. Save through Tuesday at jcp.com. Finish your holiday list early and score thousands of online deals before they're gone. Cozy up to 60% off heated blankets and throws. Keep the fam extra warm in outerwear starting at just $14.99. And spoil someone special with our Yes Please Diamonds and Gemstones only $19.99. All the deals, all online. JCPenney, make your holidays count. Offers valid on select styles through 11/28 online only. Exclusion supply. Cyber deals excluded from coupons. See jcp.com for details.
And be deleted from the list of restricted imports, and in its place, diapers be inserted. The explanation provided was that cement industry is proposed to be comprehensively regulated under the draft cement industry, the one that I told you about. Furthermore, the ministry proposed that frozen cuts of offals be inserted as item 23 of the on the list. Frozen cuts, frozen cuts, and then they have another one we call offals, and then he says that we explain that offals are categorized differently from item 2, which is the guts, bladders, and the stomach of animals. Good. Well, the committee, listen to this. The committee demanded that data be provided to it regarding the basis of the minister's justification for the restrictions on the basis that imports are having a negative impact on the country's balance of payments. At the end of the deliberation, the committee concluded that, subject to the proposed amendment, the minister could proceed with the laying of the instrument. And then we go to the other one, the cement regulations. It goes on, makes similar points, and then goes on to say that the minister gave examples of the recent development in the country whereby a number of cement manufacturing factories have had to be closed down as a result of evidence that they were producing and selling substandard cements. Members made numerous proposals for the amendment, which were accepted by the ministry. At the end of the deliberations, the committee took the view that the draft regulations conformed to the powers granted to the minister under the Ghana Standards Authority Act and does not violate the Constitution and may be laid subject to the amendments. Conclusions generally. The committee had no reason to believe that the two draft regulations were not within the ambit of the parameters set under Article 11, Clause 7 of the Constitution and the Standard Orders of Parliament.
And your point is?
My point is this: it was on the strength of this that I proceeded to lay the document the day after.
But we've heard the minority leader say that they oppose.
That's what I call duplicity. This is the committee that I was compelled, contrary to the demands of the regulations, demands of the Constitution and the standard orders, to go before, to explain myself. And this is the report to the minority leadership. And then they come back to tell me that, well, they don't know about it and whatever.
This was on the 22nd of November.
This is the 22nd.
On Friday,
yes.
Was there another meeting where further proposals were made?
So following this, wasn't any other with the committee. The committee following this was done. Expert, they done their work. So the leadership of the minority side, they kind of in a whispering conversation said that, well, I can't tell you everything. We are colleagues, so a lot of things that you get upset when in the end of the day you think they're stabbing you in the back, and then you get.
Have you been stabbed in the back?
Well, I think so.
How?
I think. You can understand from what I've just been speaking.
So the minority have stabbed you in the back?
Yes, particularly based on what I've just read to you. I mean, I wasn't going to go anywhere before any pre-laid committee. Because I've made a point, it's not mandated by any constitution. Subsequent to this,
on Friday morning,
it was
I understand
agreed.
there was another meeting.
But there wasn't a meeting with a committee.
Okay.
It was a meeting among the leadership.
The leadership.
Yeah, listen, my leader, H.M. Sabunsu, took it up on himself to have a discussion with the minority leadership and a few of them. They called me behind the lobbies, the division, the division when we go through this. And what is it that we can do? What is it? Make proposition. What is it? I am bound to lay this thing. It's not a matter that I sat at my desk and then I produced this sort of list. If you read my documentation, you will see the road show. You would see the extent of consultation.
We'll come to that.
Yeah, sure.
So in these informal conversations, what concession did you make on Friday?
Whatever they wanted to include in there.
What did they
were
want?
not significant. Indeed, ultimately, the one that they said we should put in was that to make sure the constitutional thing we talked about, that there must be some recourse.
That the review comes to Parliament for final decision.
No, it was this. I can phrase it for you.